Hi, folks. It's Bobby Allison with the Allison Synthesis, and I'm here to talk about zebras and lions, but mostly about invisible lions chasing us. So this story comes from a best-selling book by a scientist by the name of Robert Sapolsky, who's a brilliant uh, neurologist, neuroscientist. Neurosurgeon, biologist, primatologist. Wow, so he's a real genius. And he wrote this best-selling book called "Why Zebras Don't Have Ulcers." And in it, he describes the zebra as this animal and out in the savannah in Africa, and it's just taking it easy, munching on some grass. And here comes the big old lion, and all of a sudden, that zebra's bloodstream is filled with cortisol, and, and it's filled with adrenaline, and that zebra is able to take off and run as fast as it possibly can, and it's able to outrun the lion because lions have short-term speed, and that zebra can run a lot longer than a lion can. So finally, he outruns the lion, and it gets a safe distance away and stops, and literally just shakes it off, resets, just like when you see a dog shake or yawn. It resets and it goes back to eating grass like, it's just another day in the savannah. All that cortisol returns to normal levels, the adrenaline back to normal levels, and the zebra goes on with its day. So it's not stressed anymore. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way with human beings because we unfortunately don't have that millions of years of DNA evolution in order to be able for us to automatically do that without even thinking about it. We actually are going to have to do a little work. We're going to have to do some mental exercises. We're going to need to use mindfulness, and we're going to need to use some techniques and some tools in order to be able to reduce the amount of cortisol we're getting. And we're getting that. So our lions are the bills, the bad news that's going on in other parts of the world that we obviously can't do anything about, or the other parts of the country, the price of groceries, the price of eggs, whatever it may be. Those can be our invisible lions, and they're chasing us. And instead of us being able to stop and shake it off and reset our cortisol and our adrenaline levels back to normal, and other hormones and neurotransmitters get everything back to normal again, we just let it continually run. Well, we don't even have a choice. And especially like when we're doom scrolling or scrolling through, and we're constantly getting impressions on our brain that's causing the release of cortisol. And so we need to get that under control because, if I said before in the other videos, a long-term or chronic spikes of cortisol eventually leads to severe inflammation throughout the body and can actually cause you to become unwell. It can cause health problems down the road. This doesn't happen overnight, but over a period of time it will. And you can, if you already have certain, let's say, mental health issues, problems. You're dealing with bipolar or schizophrenia or PTSD or whatever the case may be. Just even short-term spikes of cortisol are not good for you, and it interferes with your management of your disorder. So we want to get these things under control, and we're going to talk about this week at the Allison Synthesis, and we're going to break this down into a way that we can manage our lives. And so, for one thing, that we're not thinking out 3 months, over 3 months from now, about things that we possibly can't even control, or even thinking out 48 hours about things that are going to be impossible for us to control, and that really don't affect our day-to-day lives right now. We need to maintain mindfulness. We need to maintain awareness and be focused on those things that are necessary and practical for now, and not what ifing and having catastrophe thoughts of catastrophes down the road that may or may not happen. So we got to reduce those lions chasing us around. And when they do chase us, we're going to know how that we can then shake it off, reset, and get back to normal again. Thanks for coming and watching, and I look forward to seeing everybody again this week. Bye-bye.